Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 22 of Direwolf20's Let's Play All the Mods 7 Skyblock series, where I'm going to be dealing with a problem I just encountered. So between episodes, I boosted up everything to top tier stuff, right? I made this super fast, I made this super fast, I made them all super good, and I got a netherite furnace, which is, believe it or not, super fast. If I drop a stack of sand in here, you'll get a good idea of just how fast it is. That was cool. I don't know if you saw how cool that was, but it was cool. Unfortunately, this speed comes with a price, and that is in terms of RF. So that's super fun. We are really low on power. And my gas turbine is running full steam ahead and doing a good job, but unfortunately, not good enough. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe boost a few more composite turbines in there. I don't know how hard this will be to get going, but they were kind of the top tier of turbine, right? So, but that requires Enderium, which is just such a hassle to make right now for me. I mean, I guess it's doable, but I was thinking maybe instead of doing that, we could play a little bit more with that mod, but we could also get into Powah, which Powah is a fun mod, and it's fun to play with, and there's a bunch of cool stuff with it. And it's been a while since we've messed with it too much, so it might be cool to give it a go. You know, there's a couple cool power abilities. There's a nice generator. I think the reactor is not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And we can do some good stuff with that. And I believe that I have to get into Powah for endgame stuff anyway, if I'm not mistaken, right? Isn't there a Powah thing, Master of the Sky? Did that have any Powah stuff in it? I don't know, I forget. Something had Powah somewhere. I remember that. I specifically remember that. I don't know where, but whatever. So what if we did a little bit of Powah today and had fun checking out that mod? Because it's been a while since we looked at it, really. When was the last time we played with that? Ocean Block, maybe? It feels like that. Feels like that. So we have a ton of resources here that need to be processed, right? Like just a hilariously bananas level amount of resource processing needs to happen. I might just disable these for the time being, only because there's just too much, right? So if I turned you off, that would stop everything. I believe that to be the case. Now this thing's chewing through power pretty bananas level. It's using 3,000 R for tick, so I think this oxygen, I had to boost the oxygen production pretty significantly, and that's, you know, so you dump excess, right? And that's cool. So you're idle and you're idle. The hydrogen, you dump excess. All right, so since they're both dumping excess, that means that this thing will always run no matter what. So we need a dedicated 3,000 plus RF a tick just to keep this thing running. There's a big part of the problem, honestly. It produces a lot, but yeah. Now, if I made you... Yeah, the problem is I really want both gases. And unfortunately, because they're gases, I can't even use laser IO to detect them and decide to turn this thing off. So we'll have to see about that. It's going to be a little bit tricky. A little bit tricky. I could tell hydrogen not to dump, but yeah. So for now, we're not even going to be able to accumulate more power because we're just burning through it so fast. So maybe we should get a couple more turbines going here and then get into power, just to hold us over until we can get power going, because we need the turbines to keep things running. So let's go back to the plan of making composite turbines. So I'm going to probably need a lot of patterns for this. My guess is that I will need a lot of patterns for this. So you need that. And I'll just get all the components here, and I'll be back in a minute once I've crafted a few of these, and then we'll get into Powah. Sound cool? So be right back. You know, I could do this with reinforced alloys, and that's definitely cheaper. Well, easier, I guess, because I already have most of the reinforced alloys. So yeah, maybe I'll do that way. I like that plan. I was just mentioning that. Invar or steel. I'll do the steel. Alright, so we should be good now to make 4 of these, if I'm not mistaken. That should be cool. It's going to smelt up a bunch of steel. Yada, yada, yada. I don't know that I taught it how to make bronze, but I guess we had enough bronze, so that's cool. Yeah, we only have 6 bronze left, but that's okay. 4 more turbines. So in theory, all I gotta do is add this to this, and he should be nice and happy. Yeah, 7 turbines, 7,000 RF a tick. Beautiful. That'll work, right? And then you're gonna fill up your buffer. You're actually using 5,000 RF a tick. Holy cow, that's a lot. But we're at least got a net gain going on now. So that should make life a little bit easier. Now, I have to assume that if I turn this back on, that we will have a net loss. Yeah, big time. Big time net loss, but that's okay. Yeah, holy cow, that is fast. That is a fast net loss. So I definitely need to generate more power here sooner than later. That's 100% what needs to happen. I did use laser IO to make the energy priority low on the electrolytic separator, so at least other things will get energy at a better priority. And the same here for the energy card. The reason that I was able to do auto-crafting and do everything with applied energistics is that I made this energy card have a high priority on the energy acceptor. So that meant the first place that Laser IO tried to send power was to the energy acceptor and then it was able to work, right? So everything was cool. So let's get into Powah, because Powah sounds like a fun time to play. So we should get a basic capacitor. No, I think we just need this one, yeah. I'm going to need a bunch more patterns again. Let's make sure that we've got that ready. More glowstone needed, huh? Where do we get glowstone from again? Dust? Pretty sure that's right. Pretty sure that's right. The nice thing about dust is it doesn't produce that much metal. So that's kind of cool. Right, now we're so good. So hopefully that made a bunch of glowstone for me. Yeah, it should be good. Nice. Liking it. Definitely liking it. Okay. So now let's get into Powah. Now, as I recall, we're going to need to make energized steel pretty early on. And that is made with energizing orbs and energizing rods. And we're probably going to want a few of these just to get the ball rolling. Now, as I recall, energizing rods, the higher the tier, the faster they craft. And we want to get to higher tiers because they are a little bit slow at first. But then you get faster and faster and they get better and better. Also, there's some cool gadgets like player transmitters and energy hoppers and energy dischargers and all kinds of other cool things you can do with it. But the main thing I'm going to work towards is going to be the reactor. Now, there's also magma generators, which are neat. So if we needed to run off lava, we could. But we kind of already have that going. But maybe we'll compare it to thermal and see if we like it better. And then there's also energy cells for storing lots of energy. Let's see. They can get up to... I remember the numbers on these not getting... Like, they're reasonable numbers, right? Lots of mods get a little crazy with RF anymore. Powah's not been so crazy with numbers, which is probably a good thing. But when you have something like a cube in the back that can hold 50 million RF, having the top tier be 2 million is a little bit, it's not as good. Still, though, the reactor, as I recall, is pretty good at generating power, so I'd like to get there. Specifically this guy. I think he generates 250,000 RF a tick, so that's not bad. I remember him being pretty cool and good to set up. Now, we will have to get to the top tier if we want to get to that, but we can also go a little bit lower tier and get Spirited. Because I remember this thing, I think, needs Nether Stars, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it definitely does. We're going to have to get into some Wither spawning at some point. Now, it does look like we've got Crystal Essences, so if we want to get Nitro Seeds, we totally can. Though it looks like even to get the Nitro Crystal, we're still going to need the Nether Star. So even though we can get the Seeds, we still need Nether Stars to get them going. So, long story short, let's get into it and play. So, we need to make ourselves an energizing orb, which shouldn't be too bad. Well, actually, I don't think I need to pattern that. But what I do want to pattern is this stuff. Let's do it with the blaze powder, just so we don't have to worry about lava buckets and all that, right? And then, in addition to the dielectric paste, we're going to need to see what else we can make with that. I know we want some of this, and I think this guy can invert to be this. And then we're also going to want the casings, which is this. Cool. And if I put all those in there, that'll be a good starting point. Okay. Now let's get ourselves the energizing orb, but not in that terminal, in this one. See, now we can auto-craft everything we need. Except iron bars, apparently. What needs iron bars? Oh, you. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I'm being a little haphazard with where I place things anymore. But that's fine. Okay, and then we can probably get... So hardened is going to require the hardened capacitor, which is energized steel. Okay, so we're going to start with basic, but I do want to work up to the different capacitors. So I should probably add you right now, the large one. I forget what large is used for, but it doesn't hurt to throw a pattern into the system. But we want to get the different tiers of stuff, and I want to add that to my to-do so that I, remember which things I want to make. Cool. All right, so now let's get ourselves some energizing rods. That's going to need some of these. I should probably... I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to make this, just because it's such a bear to craft, and I want a decent-ish amount of them. Now, I'm not going to use laser I/O for the power on this. What I'll probably use is either another power system like pipes, or I could just also use the hardened cables, because they're pretty nice cables, to be fair. They really are. They really are. Yeah, let's get some basic cables here. That should be cool. All right. So now we're going to want the basics rather than the starters. And let's get like 9 of them. Does that sound like a good start? I need tiny capacitors. Luckily, that's easy to make. I always scroll past my things. All right, now let's try that again. Basics, 9 of them, please. Perfect. Cool. And you can see all the crafting occurring to make that happen, which is why I taught the thing how to make them, because it would be annoying without. And they don't stack. Brutal. Okay, not a problem. So let's go find a place to set up Powah. How about over here-ish? I'm going to expand this platform. Call back in a minute. So I should be able to connect these two power systems, laser I/O and the other dude. So let's see. You are straight up going into there, and that's it, right? And then this power line is doing everything else. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. Or I could flux network it too. That's also an option. Maybe I'll go that way just to save myself the hassle, right? I guess we don't have that much. You need ender pearls. I need to handle that. I'm sure we have ender pearls over at the mob farm, but I haven't run a cable over there to hook it up yet. You're also low on obsidian, huh? I know we have obsidian around here somewhere. Another thing I haven't set up properly yet. Perfect. So just give me one of them for now. So over here can be my Powah setup, and that could be cool. I think I have an extra ferro flare to keep the lights on. Okay. So we'll stick this dude here. We should be able to get... What I'm thinking is maybe this. Yeah, that looks good. Look at it connecting. Maybe something like this. Technically, those two won't be needed. And technically, I could probably just position this here. Cool. And then we can put our energizing dudes here. And the reason it's bouncing in my hand is they can store their energy and retain it. So what's probably happening is Flux Networks is trying to charge them, which is nice. See? Stored power going up. Okay. And then energizing orb can chill right there. And if I want to make something like energized steel, just going to be gold and iron together in there. Now, it's important that you only put one of each in at a time, and we're going to use Laser I/O to automate this because Laser I/O makes that kind of automation very easy. But let's try it out and see what happens. Yoink. Well, that was cool. That was quick. All right, not too shabby. All right, so let's get this automated in an intelligible-ish way. What if we put a Laser I/O node here, and let's make sure we've got our card holder ready. Because we're going to have to do some cleverness to make sure that we can insert the right number of items in here at all the times without too much hassle. So let's say we want this to be our input chest and this to be our output chest, right? Let's start by doing it wrong, because that's what I delayed in. The next tier beyond hardened is going to be blazing. In order to get blazing crystals, we're just going to have to throw 4 blaze powder or 1 blaze rod in there. I'm going to go with the 4 blaze powder route because that's what we have a lot more of, right? So let's get some blaze powder. Okay. And do that up. Cool. So what I'm going to want to do is have more item cards, because that is something that we could always use more of. Get to work, Chief. Sweet, I love how fast that is. That is cool. So in here, item cards, we're going to extract from this chest, and we probably want to extract 8 items at a time. And that should be good at every 20 ticks. We might want this to be faster, and I know I'm going to need some overclockers, so I'm going to go ahead and make more of those bad boys. Oh, we're missing clay. Do we have more clay? We do. I just haven't gotten around to teaching this system how to make clay. That should be cool. All right. I don't know if we need overclockers in this guy, so we'll hold off on overclocking him, right? So then we want to insert into here. Okay. And I'm not going to do any filtering yet, but we will need to in a minute. Then we want to extract from this guy on probably the orange channel. Okay. And we're going to insert into this guy on the orange channel. Okay. So if I were to go ahead and do this, clearly that's not going to work so well. Wah, wah, wah. Big time rip. Doesn't work. So we want to, be smarter about it. So let's go ahead and handle it with filters. So we're going to want a counting filter for sure. And we're going to probably need several of these. So let's go ahead and... Oh, wow, I didn't mean to do that, but okay, whatever. Did we teach you how to make filters? I don't know that we did. That should be cool for now. All right, so you can filter, and I really only want one of these and one of these. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to set this guy to exact mode. So we could do that. You know what? I'm gonna put the filter on the extract side rather than the insert side, so that we can specify pull out exactly these items. Now I forget if exact mode will pull out both at the same time. I feel like it doesn't. But let's see what happens. If I put and that, that actually should be working. What's going on? Did I do something wrong here? Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's probably not going to work for me. So what I probably need to do is... I can put that filter over here so that it limits the number of items that are allowed in. Right? And so if I do this, it should just pull out the 2. Really should just pull out the 2. Oh, right, I want to turn exact mode off. Yeah, see, that's working. I want to make sure he only pulls out them when they're both there. So what I could have is a sensor card in here doing this. So what if we said sensor card with a counting filter, one of each, and mode. Okay. And I want you to run frequently. Let's make you run every 10 ticks should be good, right? Yeah, should be cool. All right. And then what I'm going to say is, if you have that, emit on channel 0, and let's make this guy require channel 0. So watch this. You ready? If I put the iron in there, he's not going to extract. Okay, if I put the gold in there, he will, but he's going to turn off because of that. Okay, I see where you're going with that. So what I could do here is make this extract faster. I want you to extract both at the same time, but I don't think you're going to be able to do that, unfortunately. But what I could do is make you run faster, like every tick, right? So then if I put this in there, he should go boom, boom, and that's cool, right? That works pretty good. Now, I probably want to reduce you. What I should have you do is run like every 4 ticks. Yeah, that looks pretty good, right? I like that. Boom. And then, yeah, I like that. That's cool, right? Isn't that good? I like that. All right, now let's handle blazes, right? Because that's going to be the next one that we're going to need to deal with. So, item card, item, yeah, looks all good. So your count filter is that. I might also want you to do a count filter. Do I want you to be a separate count filter? I might want you to be a separate channel. It's going to require extra cards, but I think if I do this, it might not be a good idea, but let's find out. We'll try it this way, but if we have to do it with separate channels, we will. So what I'm going to do here is have another one that extracts probably 4 items at a time. Okay. And every, let's say 10 ticks. And you're going to be dependent on the orange redstone channel. Okay. Then I would like a sensor who's going to emit on the orange redstone channel with a filter that says when you have 4 blaze powder, emit on orange. Okay. So that should be cool. So now if I do this, see how that's working? And it's only putting 4 in at a time. Cool, right? And if we only have 2, he's not going to run. Now, here's my problem. That's my problem. We want to prevent that. So that's why I said we might need separate channels, and I think I'm right about that. So what I'll probably do is, let's see. So what we could probably do is a little bit of trickery here. What we could say is we could sense any amount of blaze and emit a signal on the black channel. So if there's blaze in there, disable the gold and iron, right? And then if there's gold or iron in there, disable the blaze. Does that sound cool? Okay, so watch what happens, right? If I put gold in there or iron, it'll turn off the ability to accept blaze. And if I put blaze in there, it'll turn off the ability to accept gold or iron. Cool? All we might want to do is make sure that these guys are running pretty quickly. So I'm going to overclock them, and that should be cool. That should be cool, actually. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So now if I were to, for example, do this, see how it's working? Yeah, that's working pretty good. That's working pretty good. Okay. And then we can do something similar with the next tier. Because the next tier is going to be Niotic, and that's going to be Diamond, right? So let's get some diamonds in there. Okay. And so let's just, add a third here for this, because this is going to be important. So you were sensing... Yeah. I technically probably don't need this sensor card for this one, because he'll be blocked on the input, and we don't need to sense to enable the extraction. So let's remove this guy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this. I'm going to put this back here, and I put this back here, and that should clear all the MBT, and he should restack. Nice. So I don't really need him, and this guy can just be ignored and channel 0, so he'll always run for the blaze, right? And that won't be a problem. You shouldn't have done that. Why did you do that? The only thing I need to do is make it so that you do extract for blaze exact. Oh, that's why, because he didn't have a filter. So he extracted the iron. That's why. Yeah, so I want you to extract 4 blaze exact. Cool. See, he's not extracting the blaze. And then I can do this, and he'll do the thing. Actually, why did you do that? You shouldn't have been allowed to do that. Powder? That should actually be working. That's interesting. Why are you not working? Did I make you different channels? What did I do wrong here? Oh, I know why. Because the counting card's on the extract card. I want that to be a basic filter. Remember, counting cards and extract. See, Dar's just forgetting his own mod sometimes. If I do that with a basic filter, he will extract exactly 4 blaze powder. Because it was trying to keep 4 blaze powder in stock. So yeah, that's better now. How did you do that? Yeah, no, I think it's because this guy is extracting the blaze. So we're going to want him to be iron and gold on the filter. That should solve my issue here. And then that, and then that, and now we're cool. Okay, that solves it. Yep, so this guy needs to be filtered for iron and gold. He gets turned off unless we have both iron and gold in there. This guy can only extract blaze, and he has to extract 4 at a time. But he runs all the time. But on the insert, we're going to block it so that if there's blaze in there, we turn off the insert for iron and gold. And if there's iron or gold in there, we turn off the insert for blaze. Cool. Now let's add diamond. So what we're going to want is another one. Now diamonds are 1 at a time, if I remember correctly. Yep, 1 to 1 for niotic crystals. So we're going to extract here 1 at a time, diamonds only. And that, again, can run all the time. It's fine. Because on the input, we're going to have an insert card with a counting filter. We're going to say 1 diamond at a time. That's it. That's all you're allowed. Okay. And then you can be on channel green. And what we'll say is, if there is any amount of iron or gold or blaze, then emit a signal on channel green. Okay, and then we can add diamonds to this and this. So that way, if there's a diamond in there or a blaze, we turn off. And if there's any of these, we turn off. Cool? And that should work, in theory. Right? So if I just put a blaze in there manually, which should theoretically almost never happen, shouldn't you be sensing that? Oh, right. And then I need to have you be a low. There. See how it turned it off? Cool. And you should be off too, Mr. Black. This one should be off too. You would think. Aha! I remember what's going on now. I had to actually go look at the code for my own mod to figure out what I was doing wrong in using the own mod that I wrote. But this is what happens sometimes when you make your own mods. You forget how things work. So, as a reminder, cards can only operate one card per tick per side. So what's happening is the sensor card here is being operated on, and then it's skipping the other two sensor cards because each side can only have one function at a time per tick. Unless you throw some node overclockers in there. So watch this. If I put blaze powder in there, see how it only turned off the one? Now what happens if I put a bunch of these in? Now it turns off both. Got it? So node overclockers are important if you're going to be, you know, testing stuff every tick like I am. So this should be cool now. And just to really prove how cool this is, I turned off power to stuff so that I can, you know, test it and see. Got it? Cool, right? So those two turned off because there's that in there. Those two turned off because there's that in there. And those two turned off because there's that in there. Got it? All right, that should be cool now. So the node overclockers were important. Remember, it does one card at a time without any overclockers, 2 at a time with 1 overclocker, 3 at a time with 2 overclockers, and I've got 3 overclockers, which means it can function on 4 cards at a time. Inserts do not matter. So forget inserting, it doesn't care about inserting. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's neat. So now should we do one more to handle spirited capacitors? I think we could do that. So for spirited, it's just emeralds, right? So all we need now is emeralds. So we can have probably... Do I even need you to be multiple extract cards? I'm trying to imagine why I might. That one I need to have because of 4. This one I can have diamond or emerald. But on the insert side, we're going to want them to be different, right? So you're going to filter... I really need to teach the AE system how to do filters. But we need more, actually. Okay. So you're going to be 1 emerald at a time. And you're going to be on the brown channel. Okay. And then we need a sensor card that will emit on the brown channel. And you need to be every tick. Okay. And you're going to get an emerald, and you're going to get an emerald, and you're going to get an emerald. Okay. And then you're going to get you, and you. Cool. So if any of these items are in here, it'll turn off the 3 inputs. Cool. And then this guy only allows 1 diamond at a time anyway, so he doesn't need to be turned off. Got it? This will turn in the top 3 inputs. This will turn off everything except that one. And then this will turn off the input of all 3 except the top left. Got it? So that should be pretty cool, right? So now if I put 1, 2, 3 in here and we throw an emerald in, boom, and then the fourth, the blazes do not go anywhere until that goes away. Now the blazes are allowed in. Okay. We put this and this in there. The diamond goes. These two don't go anywhere. These don't go nowheres, and this don't go nowheres. And then once this is removed, they're allowed in, and everything else is off. They're allowed in, and then he's allowed in. That's kind of cool, right? I knew I could do it strictly with laser IO. I kind of challenged myself, because, like, I made this functionality, and it's hard in a test environment when you're, like, writing the mod to come up with, like, the complex scenarios you might want to have. So a lot of people have commented on, like, hey, Dyer, you seem to be using laser IO a lot. Well, in fairness, I'm trying to, like, put it through its paces. I want to make sure it's capable of doing a bunch of cool stuff, right? So when I run into a logistics challenge like this, is there a better way to do this with other mods? Sure. But I want to see if it's possible to do this with just laser IO. And I think I've proven that it is. So that's cool. Neat, right? So I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm pretty pleased with what's possible here. So I'm just saying. So that means, now, how many, if I wanted blazing rods and blazing, what I should probably do is, I think what I'll do next, there's a lot I'm going to need to do. We're going to have to run some wiring. How are we for channels over here? We're pretty good on channels with this guy. You're at 4 channels right now, because I could run a cable all the way around here, because I effectively want a pattern provider to sit here, right? And then we'll probably, trying to see, is there a way that I could do this smartly? Probably not. Okay, yeah, so we'll leave that as is. And what we could do if we want is that, and then get our pipe wrench. Actually, no, I do want you connected. Cool. And getting some cabling under the ground here might not be a terrible idea. Cool. I just need to figure out where I want to connect that up through. We've got a little bit of a channels mess going on right now. It's not great. It could be better. What I should do, so let's see. You're actually using quite a few channels right here. So I should remove you and make you that many. And that'll make life a little bit easier for me. I might even move a few more things. But what I'm thinking is I could probably, if I ran a cable down here, I could consider P2Ping it, maybe? Well, no, because we'd want that to all be dense. And going through the ME drive is not a good plan. I probably want to get... Probably want to go... You know what I'll do? This can go underground. Right? That would be a good way to go. I like that. So get me some P2P. And where's that memory card? I think we're good with this stuff. I was also going to do some mystical agriculture, but I don't think I'm going to get to it this episode. But memory card is here. Right? And then I can do this. And as a reminder, we need to have the quartz doohickey. I probably want an anchor here, don't I? Yeah, more than likely. To prevent these cables from connecting. Cool. So that anchor stops them from connecting there. And then that powers that guy so that he can then go underground. And we're probably going to want a healthy bit more of these cables. Cool. And this can be our under the second level kind of wiring. So anything we want to run all the way across here. Let's clear this. And then we can pop our P2P here. Loaded it. And then you're good? I think so. I believe it is. Beautiful, right? That works. And then we can keep an eye on how many channels we have. It should just be one. Perfect. That's cool. I like that. I actually like that quite a bit. Starting to clean up my AE wire. All right, so because we're getting close to the end of the episode here, I'm going to go ahead and quickly get this going. We're well past the wrapping up point, as I think you guys all are aware, but that's okay. So that, actually, I like you to be in order, just because I'm weird like that. That should be cool. So now if I want, for example, and I should probably also teach you how to make this, 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 and that. Okay. And should we do the same for cables? What are they called again? Oh, I didn't teach you how to make those. Okay. Yeah, no, I can just do that manually, I guess. Cool. So if I were to, for example, decide that I want a better energizing rod. So if I took that and I said I want you to be, let's say, I think blazing is a reasonable. I might even go niotic. Let's do niotic. So hit start here. That should have a lot of crafting to do. Okay. Yes, it does. See all the diamonds it put in there? Nice. Okay, cool. And remember, I made a bunch of energized and blazing as a result of all my testing and playing. So this is not a great test, but we'll do another one in a sec just to make sure that everything's cool, right? I think it already took the items it needs and it's hiding them from me, right? Maybe. Yeah, probably it already crafted the blazing. So we're just waiting for the diamond now. Cool. Okay. And there's that guy. Nice. Now, he's not going to fill up that fast because he has a 1 million RF buffer. But these energy cables can only transfer a little bit. From Powah. What I'll probably do is I can take 2 of these and turn them into 6. Are you crafting right now or no? And then maybe you. Sweet, that's working. How much can you? 20,000 RF a tick? And then you can do 50,000 RF a tick. That's kind of working, guys. I'm just saying. I might throw some overclockers into the input and output pieces, only because that would just make it that much faster. So maybe Mr. Extractor here can go more quickly. And you guys could be overclocked. You're already overclocked. You could be faster, though. And you could be faster, though. All right, perfect. And then let me do one more batch of these. Because I need 9, remember? Killing me, Smalls. Ooh, what's this? Rarity gem. Nice. Okay. Then I should be able to make one more of you, which is cool. And I can replace all these now. Oh, you're going to do that to me? That's super rude. Ditch. I knew that was going to go into the void, so. Whoops. This and that. And then I want to do one more test before we wrap up the episode. Fair? So you go here. Did I lose one? Did one go into the void? It's possible. Definitely possible. All right. Now there's actually 2 in there for some reason that I don't quite understand. But anyway, let's get another Niotic, right? Now this is going to have to craft all the components, right? So this should be cool now. You ready? See, look, all the stuff it dumped in there, and boom, it's just crafting. And it's working perfectly so far. That's cool. That is super cool. And then look, there's the green guy. Nice. Should we try, or that's the blue one. Let's try the green one. Start. So it should have dumped a bunch of stuff in here. And if it doesn't get stuck, that means all the logic we implemented worked out pretty well. And thus far, it's feeling pretty good. See all the channels and the colors and turning off and whatnot? Now we're having a little bit of trouble with the amount of power that we're feeding into this guy, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll be fine. That's pretty cool, right? I'm very pleased with this. Are we having power problems over here or something? No, actually, you're fine. Your output capability is 6.4, and strangely, you're doing 3.2, which is weird. But I think that might just be the limit over here, to be honest with you. What do we have on this? The Niotic energy cable? I thought you were able to do 50. Yeah, max IO 50. So why are you... What if I gave you a higher priority? Nope, doesn't make a difference. Interesting. Well, we're well past the wrapping up point. So I think we can say that we've proved that this system works. So for now, Del20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Little convoluted, I think, but in my opinion, pretty cool and pretty powerful. Technically, we can handle 4, so we should throw one more overclocker in there to be able to handle the 5, because everything is operating per tick. Now, yeah, so that's cool. And remember, if the item card doesn't extract anything, it doesn't count as a process. It only counts as a process if it actually does something. So, but, you know, node overclockers, they're cool. They're fun. And now if we look at Powah, we should have a green. Nice. All right, cool. So let's come back next time, have some more fun. For now, Del20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.